Speaking of like the dark side, I think it was last season they were competing at the same time frame with A&E Biographies, and Darkside crushed A&E Biographies on those. So is it something where like the new season of Biographies on Legends is going to come after Darkside? I know they haven't announced it yet, and I know they're going to do more. They've got there's a million they can do.
Darkside comes on Thursdays, I thought, right? Comes on Thursdays, I thought, right?
It's Tuesdays. I'm just meaning like in general. They
I know what you're talking about.
On the same day. I just know like they ran at the same time. No, it's Tuesday the 25th is the premiere. I have it written down on my calendar because there's very few TV shows that I'm like locked in for, but that one is.
Are they still at 10 o'clock Eastern or are they down to 9?
I believe it's still 10 o'clock Eastern, but being on the Pacific time at 7 o'clock for me, I can live.
You mean 8 Central?
No, it'd be 8 Mountain Time, be 9 o'clock Central. I'm at Pacific time now. I was in Mountain Time 2 weeks ago. We Arizona doesn't switch. We don't change our clocks. We change our time zone. Arizona doesn't switch. We don't change our clocks. We change our time zone.
I hate daylight savings. I actually got enough sleep.
I've never understood it. I never understood it.
So since we have like a resident expert of NJPW, I'm kind of wondering, how's the current climate over there? How are things looking? Who's Tony Climate over there? How are things looking? Who's Tony Khan going to pick off next? A general update.
How much time you got?
Not that much, but just a summation, so to speak.
Hey, we're good. We're 40 minutes in. We were going to go at least an hour, so we got time.
Okay, so the New Japan Cup is actually good. There are no AEW wrestlers in there. However, I would have liked to see like Jack Perry in there because I was like, yo, if you're still part of House of Torture, get in there and make some stories. They're still moving a bit slow. They're still like doing stuff of like what New Japan used to do, but now it's like a former show. It doesn't feel 100% right. Sorry, I just finished my dinner. We're doing another Bullet Club Civil War shit. But this time it's with House of Torture, and I feel like they're rushing that. And with Gato being on the mic and how, David Finlay is going to win the New Japan Cup and then take the championship off of Goto because Goto defeated Zack Sabre Jr. I think that once they give Finlay the belt, meaning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship belts, he's going to go to WWE. I just have this feeling that they're rushing everything. It doesn't help that Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors, even though I love those two guys, and I have 2 interviews with Clark Connors, I love those two guys to death. Like, I think eventually people... What happened?
I said nice that you have the interviews with them. That's awesome.
Yeah. I just think eventually they're all going to go their separate ways. Like, I just feel this... I don't know. I said it on my last podcast that I feel like eventually we're going to have to say goodbye to Bullet Club. And I made peace with that, which is like kind of unfortunate for me. But it's starting to climb back. But man, I don't know. And to answer your question about who's Tony Khan going to take next, I have no idea, dude. Because right now, Tony Khan took all the major stars. There's no major stars that he can get unless like Gabe Kidd just wants to take the bag and be secure and his parents be secure. Like, that's the only thing I can see going on. But as far as like grabbing another star, he took him already.
Clark Connors doesn't work in AEW because of Cowboy already.
What happened? Say it again.
Clark Connors doesn't work in AEW because of Cowboy. It's basically the same gimmick.
It's not really the same gimmick. One gimmick is more truer than the other. But Clark Connors did have a match against Swerve over on Collision, and Clark Connors lost, so he took a payday. But yeah, one is more authentic than the other.
Well, and it's it doesn't surprise me though that it's like they're cruising to a breakup of their partnership with AEW, or the fact that there's no more. They have to make more stars first for Tony to want to steal them, and that takes time, as we've seen. You've got to be able to make the stars first. You can't just poof, you're a star, Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, no. But with New Japan, it's like they're like at medium speed right now, and I'm just like, you guys need to either hurry it up or change the terms of your partnership, or call up Pro Wrestling Nova to be like, hey, can we get WWE's numbers, or we can get that partnership with WWE, because WWE is treating their partners way better than like what we're seeing out of New Japan and AEW, and I will always stand my ground on that, because it's like you can see it in real time. Those that don't want to acknowledge it in real time just don't want to live in the reality of it is.
Yeah, No, New Japan sitting there looking over the fence like, damn it, the grass is greener over there. I can see it. That's actually greener grass.
Also, if you follow Gato's Twitter account, which obviously by now we all know that he's the booker. You know, his Twitter account, I follow it, and like when you translate the tweets, even though they may not be 100% accurate, what it says in English, I'm like, yo, this guy knows something. Yo, there's something going on here. Like some of the stuff he says, I'm just like, you're talking about AEW, sir. I can be your voice for you if you need me. Like I've been doing this for the past, well, ever since they got the fucking partnership. I've been like, yo, there's something off here.
Yeah. Let me be that seriously. Is there a we'll push that hashtag for you, Marie. We want to see it happen.
Yeah, it sounds like a very convoluted situation over there.
It is. It is only because like you do have to abide by like Japan, the copyright laws, and then like what New Japan does, and then over here in America we do our own thing. The other thing too that I talk about, but I don't think many people know this, but so AEW Dynamite, the long-lived, now dead Rampage and Collision and the pay-per-views are on the NJPW World website, which is like their network where you can watch NJPW on demand whenever you want to. I have a subscription. I always tell people to get a subscription if they can handle it. However, if you are not a Japanese citizen, you won't be able to tune in to watch AEW Dynamite and those shows, only if you are a Japanese resident. However, I don't know how many of these fans actually watch the AEW product over there with the Japanese subbing and the translations and stuff, because whenever an AEW wrestler like will pop up, like for Wrestle Dynasty, it's crickets. And I'm like, is this really working?
Yeah, they don't know who the talents are. That's scary.
Yeah. That's kind of a hindrance, I would say.
It is. But you know, Tony Khan thought that like if they get it to more markets by putting their product out there, it will translate well. And I'm like, no, dude, like you have to do much more than just be like, hey, let me get a spot on your network. What?
Yeah.
Gotta let the people know. Get it out there. Let them use your YouTube for the Japanese citizens. Can they access AEW YouTube and stuff? I'm assuming, right?
I mean, yeah, they can. They can. I just think Tony thought it would be easier for the Japanese citizens, whoever has a subscription to NJPW World in Japan, will just want to watch it right there and then, you know.
Tony
but
that's his problem. He just assumes that everyone's gonna want to watch it because he likes it. Like that's like thinking like that. You know, everybody loves, I don't know, ketchup on toast because you do. No,
yeah, right, something like that.
No, that's really not something everybody likes. You know, it's fine that you do. Maybe put that in one of your matches, but the whole show.
Also, I know we keep talking about this, but I did wanted to originally tell you guys the history of what do you call it? The whole daylight saving thing, since like many people do not know the history, and I looked it up.
Oh, because I mean, I know some of it, like dealing with like the farmers and stuff and that. But please, no, that's as someone who lives in the one state that doesn't do daylight savings, by all means.
Yeah, you guys
I don't know fuck all.
So God does punish you, Jake.
No, here's the thing, man. I live in Phoenix. We have enough daylight. We don't need to save any. Like we got plenty. I promise. It's sunny here all the fucking time.
Oh, it's like Florida in a way.
I mean, it's
not really
great. It's great most of the year. From like May to September, don't come here. You'll literally melt. The rest of the year's great, but yeah.
Okay, so the rest of the United States have to deal with daylight savings time because all the way back in the day when we used to like deliver packages. I don't know the exact like how many years like this thing has been around, but it deals with delivering packages because not every state, but like, you know, the chunks of state are in their own different time zone except for Arizona because they're special. So basically daylight saving times, what it does is that Yeah. What daylight saving times does is that it sort of makes everything sort of like equal in a way where they go and deliver the packages. Um, so that way they could get it on time. It's all about like a team business. So let's
Well,
say that what's
that
up?
makes a lot. I say that. Well, that makes a lot of sense because if you look at how it's laid out on a map, it's not like it's a straight north-south line of like this is Eastern time and this is Central, and like certain states, half of it is Central time and half of it is Eastern time. So yeah, I could see how that would be based more off of that than
Yeah,
just
yeah.
cutting it. It's kind of like they didn't just chop the country into four spots. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
So basically, since I'm over here on Eastern time because I'm in New York, let's say that like I need to send a package to like somewhere else in the state, and I need it there by like overnight. That thing is gonna get shipped overnight, or if I need it there very quickly, it'll get shipped over overnight. The whole daylight saving thing is just to make sure that timing is at least equal. Even though like shit happens where like your package might end up being late, but at least it's on its way kind of deal. But yeah, that's basically like the most paraphrased way that I can explain history about it, that it deals with packaging, delivering, and making sure everything is on time. It's just an easier system for them. But I honestly think that if we like get rid of daylight savings time, nothing is really gonna change.
Yeah, it mattered back then. It does not matter anymore now. We all have cell phones that literally change the time for us when we end up in a new area.
Yeah,
You put like if you fly from LA to Boston when you land, like the time zone has changed on everything. Like we don't need it anymore. As someone who doesn't deal with it, we definitely don't need it. No, that's
yeah.
cool. That's good. Hey, I'm always for learning new information. So I mean, that's one of the
Same
things about
here.
our channel that we want to do is we randomly will go on tangents about historical things or stories that we've heard and things that we know. I like to think of myself as super observant and I have a really good memory for things that like I'd be good on Jeopardy. I don't have a memory for things that are important, but they're fun stuff to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, Murray,
Yeah, what's up?
I'm going to ask one last question for you.
Oh, sure.
I used to watch NJPW a while back when it was on Access.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Okada matches back in the few years back before he signed with AEW. And I loved him. Loved him as a talent. Thought he was great. Some of the matches I watched at like
Yeah.
10 o'clock at night were awesome. What happened?
Man. Yeah. Yeah.
His body is shot.
I mean, it could be that too, but it's AEW that happened, dude. Like, I don't know. This is why sometimes if I need to talk about Okada, I will mention the NJPW Okada because like before Okada went over to AEW, he had this whole little feud with Kaito Kiyomiya, which I probably fucked up his name. He was from Pro Wrestling Noah, and he's a young guy in the business. And the day that kid decided to kick Okada in the face, it was 100% fuck them kids, and he beat the shit out of them. He beat the shit out of him to teach him a lesson, and I was like, oh my god, I want to see this Okada. This Okada is great, right? He's just gonna kick the shit out of everybody. And then that feud didn't really go that far, and then we got AEW Okada, and I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's noticeable.
No, and I mean, and that's why I'm still convinced. I mean, if you actually asked me, I would say that Triple H, when he was talking about embracing the grind, was really talking about people as a whole. Like Mercedes, Okada, Ospreay, but really just meant more of like, hey, if you want to go work one day a week for big money and not actually be part of something, that's what he meant. But if you were like, hey, was there one person specifically he was talking about? It wasn't Will Ospreay, it was Okada. Because if he put in the work, Triple H would have made him as big a star as he could in WWE. He clearly just wanted to take the money, eat some Twinkies and say bitch every on TV. And that's fine. I don't fault the guy for him, but I also don't want to watch his matches. It's very
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. Which is sad that like we've come to this conclusion as wrestling fans that are like, man, the whole mystique, the whole different
Yeah.
perspective you get, and technically as like human beings, if we look at this from like a human being perspective, everyone has the right to choose what they want to do. They want to slow down, if they want to get the money, if they want to like start healing their body and like taking one day a week. We totally get it, but at least be honest with your fans. Because the other thing too that I think that really kind of hurt the situation is that it was like, his goodbye tour on New Japan. Everybody was fucking crying. Even like Tanahashi was crying. He was crying. The crowd was crying. And then all of a sudden he shows up in AEW, and you as a fan that was crying because you thought Okada was going to go to WWE and you weren't sure if he was going to come back or not. You were like, oh shit, I may never see him like, anytime soon. But he's just across, across the waterways. Like, he could just go back anytime he wants to.
Working with the company that'll let him come back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, oh my God, Okada, what are you doing, Okada?
You nailed it. Like, that word mystique was a pretty good way of putting it. I feel like it was like, back before it was easy to get music from anywhere online, or like before you could like download anything. Like, you'd hear about a band that broke up or they were amazing, and then like you would finally get your hands on the CD, or like, hey, they're touring live for the first time in 10 years, and you go see them and you're like, that was it. That was what I was supposed to be all excited about. Like,
yeah, right.
Maybe they were awesome when they were 19, but at 35, they don't give a shit. They're doing this for the money. Like that, and you could really kill your mystique like that. Like, sometimes it's better to leave the memories alone.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's so true.
Sorry, yeah, no, and it's sad because like, you want these things to be good. You want these things to be impactful and not embarrassing. Like, it's just what it is.
That's true, man. I rather wrestlers be honest with their fan base and be like transparent, straight up. Because then at least if they decide to be like, hey, I just feel like taking 1 day a week, being a part-timer. That's why, like, I really can't get upset whenever Roman is like, yeah, I'm a part-timer, or like John Cena's a part-timer. Like, I can't get upset because they're telling me straight to my face, yeah, I'm a part-timer. What you gonna do about it? Like, all right, cool, man. Like, you're a part-timer.
Or like with Punk, when he says like, hey, I'm not gonna wrestle as many matches as I used to, but every match I have is gonna be a fucking banger, and you're gonna want to watch it. And you're like, yeah, you know what? That is true. Yeah, no, I've been locked into every match you've had. Yeah.
At least Roman has an excuse for being a part-timer, though.
Because he has leukemia?
No, the chemo medicine.
The what?
He's still taking chemo.
Well, yeah, but I mean, regardless.
But 5 kids. I feel like that's probably gonna tire you out.
I mean, regardless of like the excuse, it's just the idea of like being straight up and being honest with people. Because, like, anybody could just have an excuse to, like, not want to be a part-timer, but, like, that doesn't need to be said why the excuse is they don't want to be a part-timer.
He doesn't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and they've worked it into his character of it's like, hey, I'm bigger than, and it works for his character. That wouldn't work for everybody. But that's the beauty of where they like. That's why I like the dynamic of him and Cody when they always go back, because Cody's the exact opposite. He makes every town. He tries to wrestle on every show and sign every autograph, and Roman's more of like big timing him. It's cool that we have that going on right now, where there is so much difference in things as opposed to 7 characters that are fairly cookie cutter of themselves.
And then you have Seth, and I'm just gonna put the mic there.
And then you have Seth. I mean, hey, word on the street is he's dropped the freaking from his name. So maybe that means we'll drop the ridiculousness from the character. Cause serious Seth is great. Like when he at the chamber when he's just yelling, die. That's great. Like that is fantastic stuff. Or like, double foot stomping Roman. Like that's great stuff. Like where he's just angry and passionate and more of a crazy person.
Marie, where do you think Tikla lands at?
Who?
Tikla? I don't know how to say her name right, but
who? Wait, what? What wrestler are you talking about? I'm so sorry.
I said, where do you think Tikla lands at? AEW or WWE?
You mean Thekla?
Yeah.
Oh, Thekla. Well, it was just so jumbled. She's probably gonna go wherever like Clark Connors is going. I don't see those two going to 2 separate places, but should be great in WWE. Like AEW, nah, man. AEW, they're not gonna know what to do with her. Even though she was feuding a little bit with Athena, like, nah, she needs to go to WWE and be with Julian.
I'm not sure who she is, but if it's female, don't go to AEW.
Yeah.
Know what they're doing with the women's division right now. Just don't go there.
What the
You'll get
fuck did they
buried.
do with Harley Cameron last night?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
They put her
Put
in
her
a
in a
mask.
hologram mask. Oh God, that poor girl.
I am
Oh,
all.
that's right. Harley Quinn is the last Samoan to fell in WWE.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Just that, I mean, there's just nothing going on with that women's division.
Yeah.
Who's got their TV on in the background?
Yeah, if you're not speaking,
I'm getting.
I do.
If
I'm
you're not
sorry.
speaking,
I just wanted to say
yeah.
hi, Jake, and everybody.
Hey D, how's it going? Good, I'm glad you're able to
I'm
make
sorry.
it
I
in.
got my TV on.
You're fine.
I got the LTF on.
We appreciate. Oh right, LFG's on. Yeah, no, we.
I was like, I had turned it
Yeah,
on. Listen, I just wanted to say hi and hey, I miss you guys.
Good to have you here. We are happy to have you for sure.
Hi.
Hey, Marie. Hey.
Hi, Denisha.
Yeah, that's Carla Cameron. I'm like, oh my goodness, where did I had that mask on her? I was like, poor.
Yeah, I just that girl tries so damn hard.
I
Yeah,
know
she
Jake.
does.
Tries
Oh my
so
goodness.
hard, and she will do literally anything you ask of her, and they make her put on a fucking hologram mask. Oh God, I feel so bad.